What's going on, boys and girls? Welcome back to another video by yours truly. I'm going to give my honest thoughts and give a fair shake to this brand new in-game mode that's going to be coming into Wuthering Waves. First and foremost, I'm excited that we're just getting new content. But what does that new content entail? Is it going to bring in some power creep? Is it boring? Is it good? What are the concerns? What are the positives? All that stuff is what I kind of just want to go over and share my thoughts on. So let's go ahead and get into it. But okay, it's called Double Pawn Matrix New High Difficulty Recurring Challenge. First phase, after version 3.0, you'll be able to do it. Eligibility, you have to achieve at least 24 crests in one phase of the Tower of Adversity's Hazard Zone and reach at least 3,500 points in one phase of the Respawning Waters. So they are kind of gatekeeping it just a little bit behind the Tower of Adversity and Whimpering Waste. Off rip, just to, if I'm going to be fair here, I don't think you should gatekeep the in-game mode. Some people just don't like doing Whimpering Waste, even if they miss out on a little bit of rewards. They hate the mode. They shouldn't be forced to do the mode. So I think honestly, this is kind of a bad idea. Just let people play whatever the hell in-game mode they want to play. Just being completely fair here. Rewards, 400 Astrite, some modifier, and then a bunch of other stuff too that's all valuable. I'll be honest, boys, resources in wuwa are actually pretty damn valuable, especially if you're pulling on every single character. But 400 Astrites is something, but it's not enough to like make people with skill issues bitch and complain if they can't clear the mode. At the end of the day, it's what, probably 2 extra wishes and some change per month. And honestly, I think that's how a new in-game mode should be assessed. Give somebody something for it, but nothing too crazy that'll make the the more casual players have FOMO and feel like they're missing out on rewards. I agree. It's a bunch of like crybabies at the end of the day, but that is a part of the game you're playing. That's a big part of the community. So as a hardcore player, you can bitch and moan about people complaining that they're not able to clear this and get these rewards, but that's the reality. Anyways, no problem with these rewards at all. I think it's completely fine. And I also think it's fair to the hardcore players who do want to play something new, but not be rewarded too much, with the other people in mind. The rules of it: in Double Pawn's Matrix Pilot, you set up your team, select the right power circuits, and complete multiple high difficulty stages. Double Pawn Matrix Pilot consists of 2 major zones: Stability Accords, right here on my left hand, or probably your right, and then Singularity Expansion on the other hand. So we got 2 zones: Stability Accords, Singularity Expansion. Clear all challenges in the first zone to unlock the next. And so I guess Stability Accords is going to be the first zone. Completing each stage earns you some points to claim corresponding rewards. Here we go. First zone, Stability Accords. They're showing off a picture of 4 different bosses. So this looks like a boss rush mode. In Stability Accords, you'll face powerful enemies that appear in sequence, right? So subsequently, you beat the ape, and then after that, you get Ghost Rider. After Ghost Rider, you get the goddamn Starscream guy, and then you get the ice person. I actually am really excited about that, or not more so excited, but looking forward to it, because my favorite gameplay aspect of wuwa is straight up just fighting the bosses, the holograms. That's the only real aspect of the game that's fun and invigorating for me. And so when they throw in a mode that's literally just boss rush, that sounds fun to me. That sounds like we'll have a great time, because the bosses are one of the very few enemies in the game that are reactive and kind of exhilarating. You may deploy up to 3 teams in this mode, with 3 resonators in each team. Pretty standard. What the previous team has accomplished will be carried over. The current team will continue the challenge with the damage dealt to the enemies by the previous team remaining effective. So what they're essentially saying is this is kind of like a baton concept, a relay race, if you will. You're going to run as far as you can with that first person, and then you're going to hand that baton off and so they can finish the rest of the race, so on and so forth for 3 teams. And so you'll notice right here, the first team did clearance, full clear, and then halfway through, they haven't disclosed the structure of this, but I'm gonna assume you're battling a timer, probably run out of time, and then whatever the hell HP you've done with that first team, you're gonna go into the next team, they'll have a timer, and then the next team will have a timer. So it seems like you're gonna probably front load your strongest team to go first, so that they can do a bunch of damage and then now pass it off to the next strongest team, right? How do I feel about this? I think that sounds cool. I do. If you were to remove the timer, I think Wuthering Waves isn't a difficult enough game for you to go timerless against these enemies. What I'm trying to say is, take away the timer and you're probably going to blitz the entirety of all 4 bosses with the first team you have, because you'll just keep dodging, you'll keep healing, and you'll just basically get to the end of the line and kill them all. Now, if they were to like increase how much damage they deal, make them a bit more intense, then they could remove the timer actually, and that would be kind of fucking fun. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I'm pretty sure you'll be going up against a timer. I could be wrong, but I severely doubt I am. Now, after earning enough points, you can claim your corresponding rewards. Happy Days, move. Oh, fuck, I'm turning into Vulcan. I said Happy Days, boys. Oh, my goodness. Singularity expansion. Here's the second phase, okay? In Singularity expansion, you'll face powerful enemies. Once you clear that first part, which is Stability Accord, you now unlock Singularity expansion. They seem to be showing 4 bosses again. And then they're saying there's no limit to the number of teams you can deploy in this game mode. So you can deploy as many teams as you have built, essentially. This will be a problem for newcomers, but honestly, it's an in-game mode for a reason. Years into the game's release. Of course, newcomers, you shouldn't even be doing a game like this. You should be kind of focusing on getting to the goddamn end game, if you will. But there are also people who just don't have their horizontal investment on their accounts. If you skipped a lot of characters, so on and so forth, you might be someone that struggles with this in-game mode, but it will be very minuscule in terms of what you're missing out on. Basically, though, this does incentivize people on the other end of the spectrum who want to compete in this mode and have some fun or whatever and try it out to horizontally invest on their account and start building up everybody. But that's a whole nother problem because I am one of them people who have skipped out on other characters. And then I picked up Shakona in recent days. Quick little tangent that I think is important. And I can't even build her up because I'm already having to prepare for Linnea's release, who I want to play as well. And so my Shakona, I can't build her up because if I do, I'm going to be broke on resources. I won't be able to play Linnea. And so I think that's a whole nother problem in this game. Resource scarcity is a bit of a bitch. And if you don't play this game every single day, dailies all the time, you won't have enough resources to build up all these different characters, even if you were to pull them all, unless you play every single goddamn day. And gacha games, I'm gonna be real, they aren't designed to be played every fucking day. They just aren't. They're designed to be played casually because the content doesn't supplement that level of investment. Anyways, getting back into this, deploy as many teams as you want. So long as you got good horizontal investment, I think you're going to have a good amount of fun with this mode. And I think it's going to work in the exact same concept. I think you're probably battling a timer. Once it runs out, you got to switch over to the other team. And they did say that they're going to be increasing the HP of these mobs in this mode. Not the Stability Accord, but in this one, as you advance through the rounds, the enemies you face will have higher HP. And so you're definitely going to be running into some spongy type feelings, I imagine. But good news is they said, but more powerful buffs will be unlocked as well. So HP gets increased, but they'll give you buffs to kind of supplement that HP increase. I more so was hoping they would say damage increase, frequency of attacks increase, more intensity increase. I always think that's going to be the better approach to a mode like this, as opposed to just HP increase, because, well, the mobs aren't that difficult unless they're hologram, fights. Then that can be pretty cool. But most of the time, they're just regular boss fights in my personal experience. We'll have to see how that one plays out. After defeating enough enemies, you can get some rewards. Here we go. We got power circuits. In Double Pawn's Matrix Pilot, you can select power circuits before starting the challenge. So this is the roguelike, very similar to Whimpering Waste, right? Or like rip to the original roguelike mode that never just came back ever again. But yeah, you can select your buffs like a little rogueliker. Resonator enhancement. In Double Pawn Matrix Pilot, certain resonators will receive special skill enhancements. Now, this one is an interesting one. I think it's already made its way around the community. You'll notice that they have an arrow on the resonators. In every single resonator that's got an arrow are all the OG resonators. You've got my boy Xiong Liao, aka Ayana Koji. You've got Yinlin. You've got Dragon Girl. I forgot her name. You've got Chang Li. You've got our cute little artist, and then you've got Jian, our general. All of them have an arrow, which means they're buffing the OG units for this mode. And it does say certain resonators will receive special skill enhancements, right? So I don't know if they're going to change this up, and then, next time they give it to Cao Charo, Ling Yang, and my girl Kung Fu Panda. But I think it's a good thing, first, that we are seeing OG units getting buffed. It's also a fucking straight up confirmation that power creep does exist in the game. That's why you have to buff the older units. But it also kind of expresses a bit of a, to be fair, a bit of a concern, because I think them buffing these older units exclusively is probably a situation where they've realized we're going into 3.0 with this new tune break system that is going to introduce another power spike. If I'm being honest and I'm being fair here, which a lot of people in this community like to brush over these type of elements, I think they are going to have an increase in power spike with this new tune break system and the way that it's going to function. You can watch my last video about how I go over that. And so they have no choice but to provide some of these buffs to these older units in this in-game mode. Otherwise, it's just going to be a massive power spike in performance, and the discrepancy is going to be so obvious. People will probably bitch, moan, and complain even further, That said, maybe this could also be a testing grounds to permanently buffing older units in the future. And you know what? I don't even think I'm unsure of this. I do think Kudo will eventually permanently buff older units. We've seen it happen in the Hoyo sphere, and if Hoyo did it, you know damn well Kudo will do it as well, and probably do it even better. So I think this is also, at the end of the day, a massive positive that they're doing this, because I think one way or the other you look at it, it's good that older units are getting some buffs, right, in this in-game mode. Finally, each time a Resonator participates in a challenge, 1 point of Vigor is consumed. So they're using the exact same point system in this, meaning you're going to eventually not be able to use the characters you've been trying to use repetitively, and you're going to have to use other characters. Once again, a horizontal investment. Veteran players will probably be at an advantage here. Newer players and people who are more casual will be cooked the deeper they get into that roster. But check this out. This is cool. Demo Resonators. They added something that said in double pawn, pilot, yada, 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 you can use demo resonators, and they're all going to be taken straight up to level 90 as long as you own the resonator. If you don't own them, they're not going to just give you that. But if you own the resonators, meaning you have resonators like me with my Shakona, level 1, level 2, whatever the hell, they'll take them straight up to 90 so that you can have a bit of a better experience with that horizontal investment on your account. So that's fucking cool. Equipped with a level 90 weapon and a correct echo set. So I think this new mode is honestly looking like a net positive. I do. And whatever criticism and scrutinies we have for it, we can build off of that once we've played it, tested it out, and kind of seen what, you know, where it needs to improve on, so on and so forth. But I think this is an absolute W. I'm super fucking excited. I am. You guys comment down below. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Peace, love, and happiness. I'll catch you guys on the flip side.